Hey, this is Nita Bee
and Ohms,
and you're listening to Transmissions
Live and Direct.
Welcome to our first session of Transmission Live and Direct. I am your host, Nita Bee, and this is Ohms, your co-host, and we are having the pleasure of talking to Mr. Ika Amulu, and he is currently incarcerated, and this show is to display the positiveness of rehabilitation. So earlier, Mr. Ika, you and we spoke, and you were giving me a background in regards to your childhood growing up and what it was like. You mentioned about losing your father at an early age. Can you share a little bit about how that affected your growing up, your childhood, if anything?
Yes, I would. Thank you for asking, and that's a great leading question. I grew up with my father being absent due to his health, and it left a void in my life, definitely, from having a father figure, to have someone I can call upon in my time of need, to be able to ask questions regarding, manhood, what were those roles and what were those responsibilities. It was empty. It was an empty space within my heart for his loss and his passing. I was at the age of 10 at his passing. Again, at that time, I did not understand the totality of grieving, what it meant to grieve, how to grieve. And so I went along growing up with having that void, seeing other children having their fathers present, made me feel outcast to a small degree. I know the questions probably wasn't as verbally out loud, like, where's your father? But the way their eyes spoke to me was just that, like, where's your dad? So with that being said, I had longed, yes, to be with my father, have him in my life as an adolescent into my adulthood. And even currently, it would be nice to have, living parents, and which you could always come to and have healthy dialogues with in regards to living in this world, and as a male figure, being able to talk to him about my roles and my responsibilities and my weaknesses, the challenges that I have as a male, being a father myself now. There could have been, definitely conversations being had regarding, parenting,
right,
and being a provider and such. So, in short, I missed my father, and I still do today.
Yes.
And I hope, that at this point, I'm an absentee father, right? So I'm incarcerated now. Now my son and daughter is exposed to the same emptiness, except for the fact that I can still communicate verbally and see them from time to time through, visiting. But yet and still, that same cycle occurred in my life, and I can empathize with my children having my absence. So it's definitely a challenge,
Thank you for sharing that.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Thank you for sharing that. Would you say that it would be fair to say that if you would have had a male role model to step in for you, that your life would have taken a different turn from you getting in trouble and landing in the current situation that you're in now?
And did you try to find that father figure somewhere else in your life? Like, were you trying to fill it in a different way?
Well, those are two great questions. Let me attempt at the first one. whether or not my life would be different as a result of having my father present. I must say, I think it would have been better, but as far as my incarceration, it's hard for me to draw the connection to his absence to my choice.
Okay.
My choice was being made as an adult. I don't believe my state of mind was connected to the void of not having my, father present. But yet and still, I know that having a father, a lot could have been different, in my life, not regarding directed to the life crime that I committed, but it could have been in a whole entirely different direction. So yes and yes, my life could have been really different. I don't know about the incarceration part.
Yes, thank you. Yes, understand. Thank you for answering that. The second part of that question is...
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ohms.
Yeah, so did you...
To answer the second part...
Yeah, go ahead.
Did I look for another role model? I depended upon my older brother, who is older than myself by 4 years, and he was definitely a good role model figure for my life, and he was very responsible at an early age, and I saw him as a young man of strength. He was definitely respected among his peers, and it was nice to be the younger brother then, and to follow in his footsteps and to be identified as the younger brother of my sibling. And so he definitely played a positive role model for myself, and he's been successful in his own career, successful in his marriage and raising his children. So he definitely played that role of someone to look up to who was not my father. So if that answers your question.
Okay. Yes, it does. Thank you so very much for that. Do you have another question you want to ask?
Aside from looking to the other people for becoming your father figure or looking to them as a role model, do you think that you acted out in a certain way, like in order to maybe like prove something to yourself or to others for the reason that maybe you didn't have the guidance or acceptance from a father figure, or did you see your behaviors, instead of looking for a role model externally, did you try to become something that maybe you weren't naturally because of that?
That's a great question. I believe I had a strong personality to begin with, and I think I received that personality from my mother, who was indeed one of the hardest working women that I've met thus far in my life, besides my mother-in-law. But yeah, she was a strong person, mentally, spiritually, and I learned from her through observation. I learned from her to demonstrate or mimic her work ethic. So my personality was shaped primarily from my mother, guidance and direction. And did I look for, or did I attempt to find a new identity for myself in the absence of my father? I don't think so. I think I had for myself a clear understanding of what I wanted to be as an individual. Let me refer, because I changed my name. I was a junior of my father. And later on in my adult life, I changed my name because I wanted to find and establish myself and not be in the shadows, or to live up to a framework which...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Which was established by my father as a senior. So I think I always had an idea of my own path that I wanted to travel and journey. And with that being said, that had caused a disturbance in my home with my mother particularly, because when I turned, I believe, 17, right before graduation from high school, I told her I wanted to choose my own faith of religion, and that set a different trajectory in our relationship between parent and son. And she asked me if, well, that's a great, but you have to do that elsewhere. You have to leave my home.
Right.
So, yeah, I think I have my own path, my own journey.
Okay.
And part of, this journey is I have to go through this incarceration process too. I don't set it aside that, it was not part of my awakening or my development. Now, as an mature individual and having time to reflect, I embrace this process in this moment.
You know what most wall art has in common? It's forgettable. Mass-produced prints you've seen 1,000 times. But Ohms art is different. At ohms.art, you'll find museum-quality prints that actually mean something. Original works exploring themes like ancient cultures, sacred geometry, natural law, and metaphysics. This isn't decoration. It's conversation. It's contemplation. Every piece is printed on your choice of Arco canvas, crystal clear acrylic sleek, metal, or natural wood, using the same light-fast pigments and materials that galleries trust to last generations. And here's the cool part. Their live review AR feature lets you point your phone at any wall in your home and see exactly how a piece will look before you buy. No more guessing. The catalog is always evolving, so when it's a piece that speaks to you, grab it. It might not be there next week. Head to ohms.art, that's ohms.art, and use their first-time buyer discount to save 20% on your order. Ohms Art, objective art for the discerning eye.
Okay, thank you for
Okay, I'm back.
Thank you for rejoining us. You're listening to Transmissions Live and Direct with your host Nita Bee and co-host Ohms, and we have the pleasure of talking to our guest, Mr. Ika Amulu, who is sharing with us some of his journey while he is incarcerated. I wanted to ask you, dig a little deeper into your story. Fast forwarding, you were talking about your journey, and I wanted to talk about your journey now, what it's been like coming from San Quentin to now where you are, continuing to program, rehabilitate. What does your future look like?
Well, that's a great question, and thank you for asking and being interested. My future is very hopeful. My future is one of brilliance, from bars to brilliance. And I say that because I have a goal, and that goal is to be, community oriented. And how does that look? It means that I'm willing to, share the burden of our community, to take a role of leadership, to make myself accessible, to connect people with resources. And my first step of re-entering into society, and my goal is to become an alcohol and drug counselor, because that is something that resonates with me, because I have had in my past a substance use of alcohol, and I know that I had used it as a crutch to, dampen my feelings or, suppress them in some.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And I hope through, gaining education and training in this background, I can return to the community and provide such to others as well as being part of a community where I share and speak about being trauma-informed, meaning, things that people go through, that they have either been traumatized by their upbringing, brutality, sexual offense, physicalness, domestic violence, things to that nature. And I hope to be able to, share my experience, my lived experience, as well as bring in educational-based material to help broaden that experience. So I look forward to being an active community member, participating in the growth and development of others.
Thank you so very much. That's what it's all about, because in society now, a lot of people are still blind to the fact and ignorant of not having knowledge of persons who are incarcerated. They think that everybody that is incarcerated cannot change, and that everyone is just there and deserving and are guilty and not willing to change. But looking at incarceration now, from the past, they offer opportunity for you to rehabilitate in a very positive way, offering classes and, just like you said, the training and hands-on experience of turning yourself around and redirecting your path from which you come. My question that I want to ask you is, at the age that you were convicted, if you could go back and tell your younger self, what would you tell your younger self?
Great question. I would tell my younger self to ask for help. Being a male, we tend to lean upon our own strength and think that it's weak to cry out to others, to ask for aid. And I think that's a misunderstanding and needs a furthering of education, because we are meant for one another. Mm-hmm. We are not on an island by ourselves.
Right.
We have family, we have friends, we have support and resources out there at our disposal. And for me, I would tell my younger self, ask for help. And another thing I would tell my younger self is to be forgiving. When you feel an offense, speak to whomever that you may be offended by, communicate to them, maybe with a misunderstanding, maybe you didn't hear it correctly, or maybe it was a direct offense against you. But I would tell myself and plead with my younger self just to forgive them. Even if they don't accept it, it's great to ask for forgiveness, to be forgiven, because when we fail to forgive, it only hurts ourselves. Mm-hmm. We take the brunt of the stress when we don't forgive, because the person may not even be aware that they have offended you. So we walk or continue on a journey with resentment, bitterness, but we're carrying that load.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's best that we unburden ourselves mm-hmm. by just forgiving, because it is the totality and the opposite or the other spectrum of love. Love and mercy and forgiveness walk hand in hand.
Yes.
And each one is useful at any given point in your life mm-hmm. for the betterment of everyone. So I would tell my younger self to forgive and ask for help.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. There's some new laws coming into jurisdiction in the year of 2026. Does any of those apply? Do any of those apply to you for your freedom?
Well, there's one that's coming up. I believe it's the Racial Justice Act. Uh-huh. It should be coming effective in 2026, which the bill is Assembly Bill 1071. Mm-hmm. I believe it is lowering the threshold for racial justice. It was a high bar before, like, for example, if someone had used derogatory statements during the trial that was inflammatory against you, mm-hmm. which was, unlawful for a jury to hear. These facts can come up in the Racial Justice Act for resentencing. Now, that doesn't mean that, the conviction is overturned, but it could also mean a lesser charge. for me, myself, it could be the difference between being a condemned person
Yes.
and a person with life without the possibility of parole. And if that should take effect, then there's other laws connected to individuals who have life without parole, meaning that if they have 25 years in served and they had committed their offense when they were 25 or less, then they can go before the board after they reach their 25 mark. So those are some good things for everyone, particularly.
Sounds good, and we are rooting for you with that. Ohms, do you have anything else that you want to ask?
Yes, sure. Just briefly, it sounds to me like from hearing you speak, like that you have found your peace in your situation. Did you find that? Can you pinpoint that to a certain experience, or was it this whole spiritual experience that you've been through during your incarceration or through your life? But how did you find your peace to have hope for the future?
Well, I believe my peace was established a while ago. I think I was 25 years old when I accepted my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ into my heart, and that was the foundation for my hope. Have I wavered sometimes since then in trusting the process? Yes, I have. Now, though I struggle, that does not mean that the situation of hope that is guaranteed, through my belief system has changed. It was just my natural emotions running amok. But what really took place most recently is when the condemned person, like myself, was transferred out of the San Quentin specialized housing unit for the condemned and was able to be a part of the mainline population within the prison system. And so that definitely changed my perspective. It brought the hope a little bit wider. It was narrow at first, but now it has broadened much because now I have more opportunities to demonstrate the change, participate in groups, participate in community events, showing myself approved that, I am not the same person that I was when I committed my offense. I have a chance to speak and share my experience, and I've been received well by others as well. So I'm just hopeful, I'm thankful for this moment and this time. I get to celebrate my, achievements. I can be prepared for my daily commitment and show compassion to those who are in need, show my true character through my actions and not my words. So I'm happy for this moment. I was received well here at Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility. I was given a work assignment upon arrival, which I didn't have none of these opportunities prior while being at San Quentin. So it is definitely on the horizon.
And I just want to say this is exactly what positiveness looks like, rehabilitation looks like. You're doing everything to move forward, to regain your freedom on the outside in society. And I just really appreciate you sharing with the listeners who will be listening to this so that people can understand and see and get a positive perspective on everyone is not the same. There are people.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
There are people who are incarcerated who sit in day in and day out, and they're not doing anything, and they have given up hope. But you are a perfect example of what it looks like to go in and have been convicted, and you have made changes over the years, and now you have redirected your thought process, your words, your actions, your whole lifestyle, and committing yourself to coming out and be even greater than while you were in. So thank you so very much for that, for sharing this story with us.
Yeah, thank you
Yes,
very much.
I thank you also for this opportunity to lift my voice and give God the glory for these moments.
Yes. As we prepare to close out, are there any shout outs you would like to give? Are there any last remarks that you would like, closing remarks that you would like to share?
Yes, I would. Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to thank my dear friend and mentor, Correll Thomas. I would like to also thank a mentor of mine, Marvin. He's my mentor for Integrated Peer Health and Educational Program. Mm-hmm. He has helped me develop to become a program coordinator. I also like to thank another mentor of mine, Elizabeth Sinowski and Alvaro Quezada. They are the co-founders of From Bars to Brilliance, and it's about being trauma-informed, and it's a healing collective series, and I just thank them for the opportunity as well. I'd like to also thank another mentor of mine, Christopher Stone, with the LWAP Alliance Group. That's Life Without the Possibility of Parole Alliance.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And then I just like to thank my family and friends as well. And this moment, I would like to honor Elizabeth Ann Palmer and Matthew Francis Scott. These are the individuals in whom I harmed.
Amen. Okay.
Amen.
Thank you so very much. We really appreciate your time, and we wish you nothing but continued blessings and success. And please share Transmissions Live and Direct with others so that they can hear your story there at the facility. And we look forward to updating with you soon and seeing what your what's progressed since.
Yep. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. All right. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.